Hey, welcome back to Sullivan's Garage. Today on this episode here, I got this headlight out of a 2010 Toyota Yaris. I'm going to be wet sanding it and putting an automotive clear coat on it. I'll show you how to clean it, wet sand it, mask it off, clear coat it, and it makes it look almost new. I mean, you might be able to still see some of the imperfections in it, but you'll for sure be able to see a whole lot better out of it after doing this. You can also wet sand and buff these, but they just fog back pretty fast after doing that within about 6 months to a year. But if you clear these, they'll last a whole lot longer. So today I'll show you how to do that on any plastic headlight for automotive. And so stay tuned and I'll show you how to do it. Alright, here I'll show you this headlight here. It's not terribly bad yet, but it's starting to get that yellowness haze to it. It's kind of hard to see it here on the camera lighting, but I've seen much worse, and I've done much worse where you can't hardly see to the inside of the headlight at all. It's so yellowed over. But if you wet sand them right, clear coat them, they'll look almost new again. So let's get started here, and I'll show you how to do it. Alright, first thing you always want to do in doing these is you need to wash them off good. I just take some dish detergent in the towel here. But you don't want any grit or nothing on it. Get all the oil and just residue, stuff like that off of it. So let's wash it here first. Spray it down, get it wet. And just kind of scrub it a little bit. Just get some of the stuff off. Go around the edges real good because you're going to want to, for that masking tape to stick. Alright. Alright, now to wet sand it, what I do is I just take some of this 800 grit wet or dry sandpaper here. You just get it wet. Keep it damp as you're doing it. You just sand the whole thing. And you want to sand it really good so you get all the, you'll see when you start sanding it, it gets the yellow haze off of it. You'll see it start kind of running down in the water. So you just sand it really good. Just take your time, really make sure it's sand it good. Rinse it off as you go also. You can see there, it got some of the yellow haziness off of it. Make sure you get your edges real good too, because you don't want the clear to flake off, so just go around your edges good. Now you could do this in a car, but I already had the headlight out. If you do it in a car, you'd want to mask off around the bumper and the fender and like the hood and stuff. And so then that way you don't get, sanding marks on your paint and you mess up your paint. And then whenever you mask it off to clear it, you would want to mask off a good portion of the car so it don't get overspray on it. But, like I said, I already had this headlight out. I'm changing the other side to the new one, so I want it to halfway match. So let's just sand it out like this. Alright, that's pretty good. The 800 grit now. Hold it off. Alright, now the next step is I like to take some of these gray Scotch-Brite pads. You could use a white, maybe, or something like that, but something more finer, not too rough. And I I just take it, get it a little wet, put a little more dish detergent on it so it cleans it and scrubs it a little bit, and I just go over the whole thing real good. You want to go around your edges real good again too. Now you don't want any oily residues or nothing on there like that. And before you sand any of this too, or even clean it, you make sure your hands are clean too. You don't want to, be eating potato chips while you're doing this, because your clear coat will fish out real bad then. Same concept as 800 grit. Just sand it real good, scrub it around the edges. And then wash it off real good. Alright, as you can see here, I've got it all dried off now. It really blew around the edges real good and the seams there. You don't need no water blowing out as you're clear coating it, but it's all dry now. You can see now it's got a nice even haze to it where I sanded it. Same concept as doing like a blend panel on like a door or fender, quarter panel or something like that. But you sand it at 800 grit, and let's get this thing masked off and let's go from there. Alright, now I'm going to mask this headlight off here. We'll go around the edges. Don't have to be 100% perfect, because it's just the back side of the headlight. It ain't like it's the outside of the car or something. You just go around it. I like the back tape for all the edge. Alright, there it is. It's all masked off now. Just put some masking tape around it and some paper. It's anything you don't want to get overspray on, and just go from there. So now let's wipe this thing down and get ready to clear it. Alright, get you a new towel. I got some wax and grease remover here for like automotive and stuff, so get that. Spray it down. Alright, now when you get a tack rag and tack it off after your wax and grease remover flashes off good. Alright, I got a tack rag here. Just tack it off, it gets the dust off, stuff like that. Just lightly rub over it. You don't press real hard. Alright, I got some 2K automotive clear coat here. So mix up some here. You can use about any kind of automotive clear coat would work. There's just some cheap stuff I have laying around. Put the activator in it. Alright, now I'm going to stir it up. You don't need a whole lot of clear to do this. It's very little it takes. Put it in my paint gun cup here. Now remember, anytime you're spraying any kind of paint like this here and there, just make sure you have good airflow, good ventilation, proper, respirator and stuff. And I'm going to be turning exhaust fan on here in a second. It'll pull it right out. So just make sure you have good airflow. Alright, as you can see, I got one coat on there, looking pretty good. I'm going to put one more. You wait about 10-15 minutes on the clear coat to flash, depending on temperature. Today it's about in the mid-90s, so it's going to flash pretty fast, but I'll still let it set about 10 minutes. But as you can see, it's looking pretty good. Alright, now it's time for the second coat. Now put 2 coats of clear on it. Looks a whole lot better than what it did when I started before it. Before it has no more of that yellowness, haziness to it, as you can see. Looks clear just like a new one. It has just a little bit of haziness to it in some areas. It's where the plastic was starting to deteriorate, I think, and it's scratched up, from rock chips and stuff over time. But hey, it's 98% better. I can live with that, and it's a whole lot cheaper than, buying a new headlight or even aftermarket headlight. And that's going to fit a whole lot better than any aftermarket headlight will too. So, it's very simple to do. Did that in little under an hour. Anyone can do this, and like I said, it's very simple. So, here it is. You'll be able to see a whole lot better at night out of it now, and that's the main reason, you do this. And it looks better too for appearance reasons. So here it is, and thanks for watching.